Hey family, hope all is well. Hope this video finds you all doing well and super thankful for another opportunity for us to connect and to talk about all things fundraising and nonprofit strategic planning and thought. So one of the things I want to talk about today is why every nonprofit needs a fundraising plan. And this has come up because we are in some changing times for our nonprofit organizations, whether you're dealing with funding challenges or changes at the federal level, or even at the state level, or perhaps locally with your local community foundations, nonprofits are forever in this space of trying to figure out revenue and trying to figure out how to continuously sustain its operations. If you haven't done so already, it's going to be imperative for you to have some sort of fundraising plan in place that articulates how your organization plans to raise money on an ongoing basis. I do, let me just raise this point here, and maybe we'll find some time to unpack it as we continue to walk through this video series. One of the things that I have heard throughout my career that people have brought up, particularly executive directors, is not taking on too much money or not raising too much money. Here's kind of like the rub for me when I hear that. I understand the responsibility that comes along with taking on money from funders and the added expectation that is placed upon an organization. But what comes to mind for me is, what about those moments where money dries up, and how do you fill in the gap? How do you plan for those dollars? Because you can't just turn on a faucet and the money comes back, particularly in a time of need. So there has to be a balance between not taking on too much money, but also continuously to raise money. So as we talk about today, fundraising planning, I want to first let you know our new book, Built to Fund, is out. This book is out. Check the link below. Super excited to have that available to you. So check the link below. Download your copy, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you about what you're learning from the book. So go ahead and download my newest book, Built to Fund, and click the link below to get your copy. Now, in the book, we talk about the purpose of fundraising planning and how to structure your mindset around fundraising planning. So I want to share a couple of thoughts with you around this idea and how we should be thinking about fundraising planning. First off, we should have a strategic roadmap in place that documents our approach to aligning our fundraising activities with the mission and the goals of our organizations. So, one of the things to think about is to look at fundraising planning no different from how you look at strategic planning. It's all tied together because you're asking for funds, you're looking for support from funders and partners and stakeholders to specifically support a strategic area in your business or in your nonprofit. And if there isn't clarity on what that thing is, what the purpose is, what the pursuit is, what the goal is, what you're going to find yourself doing is trying to throw any and all fundraising ideas at the wall to see what sticks. And as consumers of those messages, potential supporters of your organization, what we're going to be hearing, unfortunately, will be a bunch of ideas that do not align with what we're seeing on your site, or that do not align with the programmatic offerings that we see in the community. So you have to be clear on what your purpose is, your mission is, the goals, the program offerings, the services you're delivering to your customers, because that message has a direct correlation to what you will be seeking funding for. In fact, within the funding applications, within your marketing materials, sponsorship packages, your financial supporters will be seeking out clear messaging that connects their money, their donation, their gift to what you say you do. Next, you got to be thoughtful about resource allocation, right? So, to be even more specific, you have to have a well structured plan that aids in the allocation of resources so that when those resources are received by your organization, you can deploy them to the right areas and have the most impactful results possible. So, this goes back to our initial point about having a strategic plan in place that's super clear that is super intentional, because when the funds come in, assuming you've been able to secure them, you got to now deploy them in the right areas so that you can get the right results. Whether it's beefing up program staff, whether it's beefing up your back end staff, whether it's beefing up your recruitment staff, whether it's beefing up your systems and data collection, whatever the case is, that's going to have the greatest impact. The resources that come in, the money that comes in, has to be allocated to the right areas. Now, I hope that you're finding your connection point to what we're saying so far, because I have a few more points to share with you. But at the end of the day, it's going to end with good planning all the way around. If at any point you need to have a conversation with our team about effective planning, strategic planning, fundraising planning, or facilitated conversations, I want to encourage you to visit us at elipatrick.com. Again, that's elipatrick.com. Shoot us a note so that we can have a conversation about your needs and how we can help facilitate the conversation. Further, I'm going to continue to encourage you to get your copy of my newest book, Built to Fund, where we go over these concepts in detail around the planning of your resources, the planning of fundraising, and how it all comes together. We've put together a workbook to walk through a series of questions that outline the things you should be considering when you're doing fundraising planning that will ultimately help you develop your fundraising plan within your organization. Click the link below or above to get your copy of my latest book.